You have to unmute.
Sorry. Yes. All right. Good evening, everyone. I hope all are doing well and everyone is in good health and good mood. Okay, so let's start today's evening session. And before I start, I would request if everyone can, participate and can also give their input and discuss. It really helps everyone to know more and to increase our knowledge. Okay, so welcome all, and I'm just sharing my screen. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, wait, I'm just stopping it again. I'm just sharing it again. I want to audio also with it. Perfect. The screen is visible
Yes, now.
now. Okay, great. All right. So, as we all might have seen in our groups, that today's session is all about, again, I'm back with some of the parenting mantras. So, today we are going to understand some of the mantras, 5 mantras at least, and that is of parenting. And let's talk in general regarding parenting first. Okay. So, this is something which is a common, what we can say, definition. However, it's a process of caring for a child which includes promoting and supporting their physical, emotional, social, and cognitive development from infancy into adulthood. So basically, what is my understanding about parenting is all about, it's not about meeting two people in the society, getting married, and bringing a child out, a child. It's all about shaping a soul as a guru. We all are there in the society with some of the systems, some of the religions. People get married, they become parents, but actually, it's an art to shape a soul. I think in many of the sessions, I said the same thing. I thought, why not to bring it again? So, this is the if somebody can unmute and if somebody can participate. We can see from the picture and we can answer. All right, I'll answer. It is from the picture we can see that it's a needle and there's a thread. So basically, needle is used to guide to join the fabric. Why am I giving this example? It's all about threading the needle. It is completely related to parenting. It is used as a metaphor that, in a broader sense, we can say that it symbolizes finding balance or harmony between different forces or ideas, which is a challenge parents often face. And stitching a family together is just like a needle and thread bring fabric to life. Parents stitch values, wisdom, and dreams into our journey. So basically, therefore, needle and thread is a metaphor for parenting, for parents and child. So I have 5 mantras which I would like to go through it. And I will discuss this with a lot of examples. So, what are the 5 mantras? These are some of the mantras. However, there are many mantras to develop a child's journey. I have also written some of the ages, I mean, age groups. So, mantra number one, which is very, very important and which is known as morning routine. So, this is basically a training to a child from a parent from the age of 5 to 14. How basically you are inculcating discipline in their lives. Early to bed, early to rise makes man healthy and wise. So, are we really implementing it? Are we really teaching this? Because actually, morning routine makes a child very happy. And since childhood, the emotions and mental level of a child gets balanced. What he is eating in the morning, at what time he is eating in the morning, what, how much is the quantity, what he is doing after getting up. Is he going to the school and actually checking his own uniform? Is he independent of doing homework, or we are sitting with them with children to guide them for homework? So morning routine, basically, are they really saying namaste to parents or saying good morning to all the family members in the morning? So those belief systems, basically, every parenting depends upon the belief system. So the first mantra and the point number one is discipline. Second is I will talk about decision making. Even it helps from the age of 5 till the end of life. If we really help children, for example, if a child is asking for a game, any kind of game, he might have heard from the neighborhood, or he has seen, or he might have seen in the school, and he's asking that I want to buy a phone or I want to buy a game. So we should not be, we should not say that, okay, fine, why don't you buy this game? We should not give choice. However, we can tell that child to find out the game or to do some research on it. Let him do his own research. We want that child should actually develop the habit of decision making since childhood. So the first step is we can say that why don't you find something on internet, or why don't you go let's go to market and we'll explore some shops, and then you can check that which one is good for you. In this way, we can develop the decision making capability. The third thing is social skills through any task or money management. I'll just give you one example. For example, if a child is asking for a game and he has already decided that I want this particular game, fair enough. Now we can tell that child that to make a presentation on it, maybe through drawing, maybe through charts, maybe through PPTs, maybe through any other means. In this way, he will also develop some creative skills, and even you can say that the child can actually express that in front of parents through presentation skills regarding that particular game. उस बच्चे ने एक presentation बनाया, आप कोई एक दिन तैयार कर लीजिए, एक डेट डिसाइड कर लीजिए, और उस टाइम पे वो बच्चा आपको वो presentation skills दिखाएगा. Or else, if you are inviting your friends also, that child would develop a confidence of facing social, what we can say, people, as well as he will also develop a lot of presentation skills. In this way, he would come into the habit of expressing himself. The fourth one is reading and knowledge gaining. For example, again, I'll take the example of the same game. So whenever, even we also, in our age also, for example, if I'm buying anything from Amazon online, I check the details of the product. For example, I'm buying a shirt. So this shirt is, what is the cloth of this shirt? Is it cotton? Is it any other material? What is the price? So basically, it's very important to gain the knowledge where when a child is doing some research of that particular game, sorry, which is of his own interest, he'll do lot of research and lot of knowledge he will gain from that. And in fact, he will start reading the details of the product. In fact, it's very important for a child to decide a particular time in a day to read any book of stories, book of poems. It's not necessary to involve a child into the book reading of his own syllabus. It can be Hindi, it can be English, it can be of his own interest. So this is something which is the fourth point. Fifth is self-control, time management. Generally, parents always uh, maybe that because they do not say sometimes to children that okay just play for 1 hour, okay, and then बहुत सारे ऐसे पेरेंट्स होते हैं जो बोलते हैं कि ठीक है चलो बच्चा है ना 1 घंटा क्या 4 घंटा खेल ले कोई बात नहीं पढ़ाई कर लेगा सो जाएगा खा लेगा बट that is something which is not incorrect in between the age group of 5 and 14. The development of self control should come from childhood. If we are allowing child to play a game or to watch a television or to eat something, in fact, or to go outside, we can decide a time. And so that this should go into his subconscious mind. He must be thinking during playing also. You can actually give a watch to him rather than a phone, that this is the time you're going and this is the time we have decided to come back. This is the time when we have to sleep, and this is the time we have to get up, which comes under discipline as well. So, this develops the area of self control in a child. So, this is basically related to mantra number one, which is very important. Now, let's go to the mantra number two. And the mantra number two is between 7 years to 16 years. You know what happens? There might be a lot of parents are there in this forum. The moment we become parents, we stop becoming students. We always want to be parents. I heard this one of the podcast कि माता पिता तो बन जाते हैं पर बच्चे नहीं बन पाते because they also learn a lot of things from their kids. So they have this mindset that we are parents, so we are right. No, it's nothing like that. In fact, parents should become a good friend and a student. That what new when we can learn, and this can happen from communication. What else? What new can we learn? So this is the mantra number two. Now I'm going through all the mantras. All the points in the mantra number two. So the first thing is discussion on any situation like a friend, maintaining a boundary. After all, this is a relation of a friend, a parent, and a child. No army commander. I have specifically written this कि आप कमांड चला के बॉसी करके बात नहीं कर सकते तुम्हें ये करना ही है. Rather than that, we can do some discussions on any of the topics. Okay, let's sit together. Tell me, what is your point of view? And start taking some suggestions also. So he can develop the point number two is critical thinking. And that is very good for future. I'll just give you an example of it. For example, let's decide. Let's think about it. That there is a child which is of 7 years old. He's 7 years old, and there is another child in the same house which is 5 years old. Now, this 7 years old child is playing Monopoly game. Generally, it's a very good game if you all have played this game, business game. It's really nice. We get this वो नकली के note होते हैं उसके अंदर. But the best part about this game is that it actually develops a lot of calculation, a lot of money management, financial management since childhood. Therefore, games are really important in every age. However, nowadays everything is online. But then these games, which we have also played in the early in our childhood, was awesome. So, for example, a parent should give a responsibility to a 7-year-old child that let's plan a party. Let's plan a birthday party of your younger child. एक केस स्टडी दे दीजिए आप अपने 7 साल के बच्चे को कि आपके 5 साल का जो भाई है उसकी हमें एक बर्थडे पार्टी प्लान करनी है और हमने आपको आज 5,000 रुपए दिए हैं. एग्जाम्पल. कुछ भी असली वाले पैसों से नहीं हो रहा. We can actually say that this is the amount which we have given in your hands, and now you can plan a party of your younger brother and just sit with that child and talk to that child and say that ask options. देखो पार्टी में जाते हैं तो क्या क्या करते हैं. The first thing is decoration. So I'm giving you 5,000 rupees. You have to manage everything in this. So starters में क्या रखोगे तुम? What would be the menu? What is your choice? Start taking suggestions again. What would be the decoration? बाहर से बुलाना है डेकोरेशन खुद ही करोगे. Return gift क्या रखोगे? Okay, what would be the size of the cake? How many people will come into that party? And there are many things. So that child will definitely have that mindset. मुझे इसी 5,000 रुपए में से सब कुछ करना है. In this way, he will develop a critical thinking. It is not good to become bossy or to say "meri hi mano." It is good to give a space to a child to think about this. It's a case study. So what will happen? What would be the learning? Many you might be knowing it that a lot of people are giving the return gifts nowadays. The return gifts are coming to the house. So these children, if we will give some responsibilities, they will understand that we belong to such class, other houses belongs to such other class. तो देयर वुड बी नो कंपैरिजन कि भाई मुझे तो रिटर्न में आईफोन मिला था, आज मैं भी रिटर्न में किसी को आईफोन दूंगा. मे बी दैट मैं रिटर्न में किसी को सिर्फ पेन ही दे सकूं. बट हु विल एक्चुअली डेवलप दैट थिंकिंग प्रोसेस? दिस इज पेरेंट्स रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. So the best part about the mantra 2 and all the points, in this way he will stop comparing with other families. He will start developing decision making, problem solving, and in this way in this party, maybe he's planning something, he's doing money management. So the brain works from 7 to 16 is a very very critical time. Even all the senses are very much active. We have 5 senses. What we are actually seeing, what we are actually observing, what we are hearing, what we are saying, touch, and what we are smelling. So in this age, the development of the brain is really good. So what we are actually training is very important. So this is the mantra number 2. Now we have mantra number 3. This is between 3 to 14. So this is very, 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 very important. Nowadays, because of the competition and comparison, we are not recognizing the interest and the potential of the child. In every vacations, we might be sending our children for many activities, many, 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 and many. Now, I think I do not even know what are the new things which are coming in the market. However, this is swimming, maybe karate, maybe painting, maybe something other art, maybe anything clay work. But have you ever recognized as a parent in this particular age, what is the interest? Generally, at the age of 14, below 14, generally, a lot of parents, they recognize that they are unique. It might be my child has special interest towards tabla. Might be my child has special interest towards painting. Might be my child has special interest in sports, maybe music. So 14 साल तक तो एटलीस्ट कम से कम पता चल ही जाता है. और अगर फिर भी ना पता चले तो here comes the role of psychometric test and counselors. I would have a humble request that please consult any psychometric go for psychometric test and consult any counselors, and then later on you can take the coaching and that which is best for his future. So every child is unique. We don't have to just compare कि भैया शर्मा जी का लड़का यहाँ गया तो हमें भी यहीं पे भेजना है. It should not be like that. We really need to recognize that what is unique in our child. So we all do a lot of shopping. We all have passion of traveling. We all have, hobbies of going out and having something in the restaurant. I think we spend a lot of money in all these things. We can also spend money for the passion of a child. Maybe he's very good at language. Maybe he really loves to go for any sports on a and this should be add-on course of I mean, it should be enrolled for the regular courses, not just for vacation courses. क्योंकि जब हमें पता चल गया कि this is the focus, this is the potential, we should really, um, you know, uh, recognize and fit that child into that particular, what we can say, interest. So therefore, it is very important if you have any doubts in this particular age, also at the age of 14, that what is the most important for my child? It's better to consult a psychometric counselor and go for psychometric test. So this is mantra number 3. Now I would go for mantra number 4. So mantra number 4 is for every age group. It is specifically for all the people who are mostly in the metro cities who are working and they have no time for their children. They are really working very hard for their children, but they do not have time. Busy parents. So how will you be in touch with those people, those children? The first thing which I would suggest is speak and train while working, cooking. It depends upon age wise. For example, there is a child which is the age of 4, and mother is cooking in the kitchen. She might not be getting time because she's working, but in the kitchen she can talk to her child. See that I am cooking capsicum. What is the color of the capsicum? It's yellow. What is the color of uh, this we can say spinach? It's green. Through vegetables also you can talk. Speak and train, because otherwise you will lose the communication. For example, if you're also the child is between 15 and 16, teenager. So hey, your hair are really looking nice. And nowadays, are you eating properly? Something like that. You might be doing your work, but while that, you should be also talking to your child. Second is converse while riding, driving, journey, market, party. If you're dropping your child, maybe in the any of the parties, while taking him back, you can talk. How was the party? What was unique in the party? You're really looking great. What did you give to your friend? What was the gift? What did you buy? Even riding and driving also we can talk. I was watching this Amazon Prime, very nice and interesting. If you all have watched the web series of The Family Man, it's really interesting how they are really conversing because both the parents are working. Manoj Bajpayee is there, जो कि पुलिस में होता है, उसको कभी टाइम ही नहीं मिलता. And how they are conversing with their children. It's very interesting. So this conversation during while riding, driving, journey, market is very important. Third thing is visit divine places. Either it's church, either it's temple, either it's gurdwara, either it's masjid. Wherever you want to bring, please talk to those children, and at least I don't know how much time we all have in these days, but then at these divine places we can also teach them about mantras. We can teach that why this mantra is so much important and why not, how it works and how it is not working. So this is something which is really nice. Mantra teaching during visiting these divine places are awesome. Fourth is storytelling, which is the most effective way of talking to children if you are busy. Again, it depends upon the age group. if a child is sleeping with you, and at night it is, he's 4 years old, and you're actually telling about the stories of fiction stories, fairy tale stories, that is also nice. However, if the child is, maybe he's teenager, and you both are talking with each other, and you're telling about the stories, जब मैं 15 की थी तो ऐसा भी होता था, हमारे जमाने में भी था, अब तो तुम्हारे जमाने में तो एआई आ गया है भाई, हमें तो पता भी नहीं था कि अब ये जमाना रोबोट का हो जाएगा. Something like that. Motivational stories, not the Rotlu stories, of course not. You can actually talk something motivational with child. The storytelling is the best part to actually converse with with children. Now I'm coming to mantra 5. Again, I would say that belief system. ये तो चाइल्डहुड से ही डाला जाता है भाई. बहुत सही अच्छी कंडीशनिंग करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. यदि हमने कंडीशनिंग ठीक करी तो बहुत ही अच्छे रिजल्ट्स मिलेंगे. यदि कंडीशनिंग खराब हो गई चाइल्डहुड से, तो रिजल्ट्स भी अच्छे नहीं आएंगे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, वी समटाइम्स टीच चिल्ड्रन conditional love. If you will do this, we will reward you something. ऐसा करोगे तो ही ऐसा मिलेगा. ऐसा नहीं करोगे तो कोई रिवॉर्ड नहीं मिलेगा. Of course, that child feels motivated क्योंकि उसको कोई ना कोई हम लालच दे देते हैं. But later on, when he really becomes, adult, or he understands, this is the teaching of conditional love. This is nothing but business relationship we develop since childhood. अगर मैंने ये नहीं किया तो मेरा लॉस हो जाएगा प्रॉफिट. और हम बहुत अच्छे से स्क्रू कर देते हैं प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस. एंड वी गिव लॉट ऑफ टीचिंग ऑफ कंडीशनल लव. जैसे मान लीजिए, अभी एक सेकेंड एग्जाम्पल मैंने यहाँ पे लिखा है, सो जाओ वरना भूत आ जाएगा. दैट वी ऑल जनरली से टू अ चाइल्ड. नो नो, खाना खा लो नहीं तो बिल्ली खा जाएगी. Otherwise, he will not eat. And nowadays, there is another thing. We give mobiles so that children should eat or sleep properly, which is really not the right way. So, what is the right way basically? So, we can talk something else, we can play, we can uh, do some readings at night before sleeping. But then, the right conditioning of a mind is very important. मुझसे आर्ग्यूमेंट नहीं करना, जो मैंने कह दिया वो कह दिया. This is also incorrect conditioning. Rather than that, we can discuss something. One more thing, which is very important, how we are raising boys and how we are raising girls differently. Correct conditioning is very much required. Nowadays, a lot of things changed. Earlier used to say कि cooking नहीं करोगी तो शादी नहीं होगी. अब तो खैर बहुत बहुत आगे निकल गई हैं चीजें. But it is very important. I remember I was going to one of the families in our society, and this child is of 12 years old and he loves cooking. वो kitchen में बैठ जाता है, and whenever I go, he says, Dee, sit here, I will cook something for you. And he really cooks. और उसने मुझे 2-3 dishes खिलाई भी. But when I saw her mother said, ये कोई तरीका है? खाना बनाएगा क्या? I said, why not? He's 12. It means that he has interest in hotel management. He calculates very well. He has interest in business. He doesn't, what we can say, study much, but these are the development areas. These are the interest areas. So how we are actually raising our girls and how we are raising our boys, is it conditioning, or it is how we are developing that belief system is very important. Every change or development comes from the belief system. So these are some of the mantras which I have spoken about it. I just want to show some of the videos. Sorry, it's just a video of bad example of parenting and good example as well. So let's talk about this. I'm just playing one video.
Yes, I failed the second standard. Baap re, shame, shame. Dumb Kaira failed the second standard. इतनी शर्म की बात थी आपके लिए, हाँ, कि आप ऑल द वे वापस आ गए इंडिया ओनली बिकॉज आई फेल्ड द सेकंड स्टैंडर्ड. और जब मैं फाइनली खुश थी, जब मैं फाइनली खुश थी पैपी और नानी के घर में, मुझे वहां से भी ले गए, उनसे दूर कर दिया। यस, पद्म भूषण जस्ट फॉर दैट। और एक पटाखा, एक्चुअली बॉम्ब है मेरे पास। आर यू रेडी? आई हैव बिगन थेरेपी। यस, मैं दिमाग के डॉक्टर के पास जा रही हूँ। Yes, I failed the second standard. बाप रे, shame, shame. Dumb Kyra failed the second standard.
Connected to
इतनी शर्म की बात थी आपके लिए, हाँ, कि आप all the way वापस आ गए इंडिया।
this was the example of bad parenting, and I am also playing another video of good parenting.
सर रोहन गुप्ता 80 वो और उसके कुछ दोस्त इसे रोज परेशान करते हैं, घर के नामों से बुलाते हैं, मजाक उड़ाते हैं। आज मैंने अपनी आंखों से देखा। शायद भूल गए हैं मजाक और बदतमीजी में फर्क होता है।
रोहन गुप्ता और उसके दोस्तों को बुलाओ। ये सब करने आते हो स्कूल में? आज चिढ़ा रहे हो, कल छिड़ोगे। लगता है आज तुम्हारे पेरेंट्स।
नहीं सर, सॉरी सर, प्लीज सर।
माफी मुझसे नहीं, इनसे मांगो।
सॉरी कब? सो सॉरी आंटी, अगली बार से ऐसा नहीं हो। मम्मी, आप? उम्मीद है लाइफ में दोबारा ऐसा नहीं होगा।
आप अपने ही बेटे की कंप्लेन?
सर ये भी तो किसी की बेटी है। थैंक यू।
All right. So this was just a video which I have shown. Okay. So these are the mantras. Thank you so much for today's session. I hope you all have enjoyed.
Thank you, Maniisha ji. Do we have any
Thank you.
or feedback? Yeah, Harmi ji. Maniisha ji, can you stop sharing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, good evening. You put the ball in my court again. It was interesting listening to you, Maniisha. Obviously, my kids are all grown up. One is 23, the other is going to be 18. And I hear you what you're saying, but I guess my parenting style, or between me and my wife, we were far away from this fundamentals of mantra that you put out, and I'm sure it probably works. But I also believe in, I'm just putting my opinion, so don't take it that I'm countering or in any which way saying what you're saying is right or wrong. I'm just
No,
putting
that's
my
fine.
my perspective.
Sure.
I've always believed every aspect, whether it's parenting or any other aspect in life, there is never one size that fits all. One is that. Secondly, what happens is the family dynamics, the child itself. Like I've got a son and a daughter; they're different, right? With me, I was a much more stricter father till the kids were in their teens, and then slowly. So I had very categorically told them. I said, till 13, 14, you have got no democracy at home. It's just absolutely my way or the highway. And we will hear you out. You don't get to, we'll start hearing you out, but you don't get to vote. Post 14, we hear you. If a suggestion comes, we'll implement it, but still you don't still get a vote. By the time you're in 18, you get to vote, but I can veto it. And with my son now at 23, you get to decide what you want to do, because you reached a point where you have to decide, right? So they understood that democracy and freedom came to them with a sense of responsibility at a time. As long as there was a certain age, no, they didn't have a say, absolutely at all. I remember when my son was just about 3, I bought a Toyota Corolla. This is like 21 years back, and he was like livid that why did you buy a Corolla? You should have bought a Innova. He made a hue and cry about it. I said, not a problem. So the next day, the maid को मैंने बोला, मैंने इसको ऑटो रिक्शा में लेके आओ, हम लोग गाड़ी में निकल रहे हैं. तो उसने बोला, मैं ऑटो में क्यों जाऊंगा? ऐसे, क्योंकि गाड़ी तुम्हारे को पसंद नहीं है तो तुम ऑटो में जाओ. उस दिन के बाद वो कुछ बोला नहीं, चुपचाप उसको वो गाड़ी पसंद आ गई थी. तो मैंने बोला, ये गाड़ी तुम्हारी चॉइस नहीं है कि तुम्हें पसंद आएगी कि नहीं आएगी. तुमने चलना है तुम चलो, नहीं मिलना तो ऑटो में आओ, पैदल जाओ. And I'm just giving anecdotes out of my own life. So my son used to play football, he used to love playing, and he one day, came to me when he was in his, I think probably 7th or 8th, and I'm going to be a football star. And I'm like, okay, great. So it was winter afternoon, and I said, I'm 50, but I was, I think, maybe in my late 30s, but I'm pretty fit. So I said, let's take a ball and let's just between the two of us go and play football one-on-one. He said, yeah, he was pretty happy. He thought he'll beat the shit out of the old man. And we played for about half an hour, and I must have hit about 28 goals with him hitting none. Right? And he started crying in the middle of the field. So I said, now you come. I said, you're in the 9th and you want to be a football player. But let me just tell you, just because you play great football at the back of the society on a ground, and you're the vice captain of the school football team, doesn't make you apt and good enough to be a footballer in terms of your career. I said, because every time I told you not to go and play football in the morning and concentrate on your studies, you never fought back. You never pushed back against me. You accepted that decision. And I said, you have a passion. You like playing football. You're a good player, but you're not willing to die for it. You're not passionate about it. So you will never be a good football player. And I said, if you're not willing to fight your own father for that passion, I would have probably come back stronger against you, but you would have come back stronger. And at the end of the day, as a parent, I would have seen through it, and I would have said, okay, you know what? This kid has that drive to be there, and I didn't see that. So I'm not going to let you go. One last incident, when he cleared his 10th, he got 99 out of his maths. And so when the 11th, you had to take a choice, it was very clear. He said, I don't want to take science. I said, I don't want you to take science. My wife is a doctor, so, she understood that nobody wants to become a doctor at home or an engineer. So he said, Dad, what is this thing? I said, you are going to take maths and I want you to pursue finance. And he was in two minds, I think I'm a better marketing sales. I said, no, you're going to go into finance. So my wife said, no, it's his choice. I said, no, this one, trust me on this one. So we went for the psychometric test at the school. The school said, no, he's not apt to get into finance. He should get into arts. I overturned that decision. I said, no, he's going into finance. Today, that kid is 22. He's already cleared his master's in Boston University in finance, in a STEM quant finance. And he's about to clear his CFA level 1. And it's just not that he's doing that. He has taken a liking to it like nobody's business. So it was not me pushing him to do something because I felt it right. I was able to, as a father, see the qualities as an analytical capability that the individual had. And I saw those capabilities devoid of being a parent as an individual. That if I was running a company, does he give those qualities and merits? My decision for him to be in that space. So what the psychometric or the counselor did not see, they just saw the paper, they saw the test. I said, I'll overrule this because I've seen this kid and I know how. And, surprisingly, he would not get up early in the morning. We would want him to get up in the morning, which was obviously he used to go to school. So I couldn't get him to be, disciplined in getting up in the morning. He would wake up at his own sweet time. So I got him a dog, which he wanted. Now, since he got a dog and he had to take care, and I got him a dog at about the age of 13, he had no other option to sometimes get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30, but he would still sleep off. After doing the chores with the dog, he'd sleep off. But he got a sense of responsibility going. And very And pretty much by the 10th, I realized that, I don't need to be after his case, that you need to get up, you need to study for 7 hours, because he was able to get the results with 2.5, 3 hours of study, because he was just a different kid, while my daughter was very different. So uh, I realized what worked for my son will not work for my daughter. They're two very different individuals. I would
Correct.
expect I would expect a 95% from my son, but if my daughter got in about 75, 76%, it was brilliant, because she had a set of qualities which was extremely different. So we started pushing that. And I would tell my daughter, I said, listen, I don't expect you to get 95%, but I know that you can get 82%. So if you get 82%, and if that, and don't make 82% as the benchmark of your, uh, accolades, it's just you pushing yourself to see whether you can achieve something. So I really don't give a damn whether you get 72% or 82%. But if you get 82%, it's not for me. It's to tell yourself that I can push myself to achieving a target or something that I feel I can't do. So it's for your own self-confidence, not for me. And I'm not even bothered whether the college likes it or not. I'm not. So the process was that test your own capabilities where you think you can't do it, and you will. And so my daughter needed a little more hand holding. She was extremely competent when it came to social skills. She was a Bharatnatyam dancer when she was just 9, so she could stand in front of 10,000 people and do it. My son was analytical. He was not a people's person. So and then, as you rightly said, within the metro, things are different. So I took a judgment call about 4 or 5 years back, just when my son was getting into college and my daughter was in her 10th. I put all my business and work on a back burner, because my wife being a doctor, I said, uh, I moved on from being a dictator to extremely being very close to my kids as a father. And I became very close to my son at a point where he started understanding that in business, finance, and everything, I need to go back to my dad and take his advice. And the moment he went for his master's to the US, I said, listen, I'm available 24 hours for advice, but the decisions are going to be yours. And from here on, I'm not going to interfere in the decision. Even if I feel you're taking a wrong decision, I will advise you, but won't stop you from taking that decision, which I would have done maybe 4 years back, because you need to learn to be accountable for your decision making. And I'm not going to come. But as a father, uh, you have the right, and you are supposed to come back to me at any point you feel that you're in two minds. And coming back to me should not be an ego issue for you, because it's not that, what if I go to my dad, am I a lesser person? I said, no, you're not a lesser person. And if I may kind of put it in Hindi, so when I was just, I was spending time with him before he was to go to the US. I told him one simple thing. I said, son, uh, as parents, we've seen you naked as kids, all right? From a metaphor point of view, in future in life, if you ever want to get naked, the best thing is get naked in front of your parents, because we're not going to be judgmental about it. But if you go out to the world, to friends, to family, to relatives, or social, your peer group, and you
Agreed.
decide to
Agreed.
bear your, if you decide to bear your soul out, or you decide to get naked in front of them, I promise you, not 9, 10 out of times, people are going to be judgmental about it. And so do not have hesitation in coming back to me or your mom at any point. Don't, even if you're 40 years old, you're supposed to come back, because you can decide that you're independent. You can decide that I don't have a role, because you're grown up, but you cannot take away my right to be a father till I die. So that I'm not going to leave that. But at the same time, I understand you're an adult, and you have a choice to make in terms of your decision making. So the point is, uh, I was pretty hands-on on that, but we didn't go. I mean, I see a lot of peers, and I see a lot of people उनको भरतनाट्यम में भी डाल रहे हैं, गिटार में भी डाल रहे हैं, इधर भी डाल रहे हैं, उधर. I just feel life needs to be a little more simplified. People have made life too mechanical.
Right. Yes.
I mean, why does the kid
Yes.
need to learn 10 instruments, 3 music systems? I mean, what it's like you're hedging your kids' फ्यूचर की ऐसे नहीं होगा तो किशोर कुमार बन जाएगा, वो नहीं होगा तो लता मंगेशकर बन जाएगी, वो नहीं होगा तो माइकल जैक्सन होगा, नहीं होगा तो शायद तेंदुलकर बन जाएगा। अरे भाई इंसान रहने दो ना। जो
Correct.
बनना होगा
Correct.
उसकी नियति में किस्मत में लिखा होगा वो बनेगा, कोई नहीं रोक सकता उसको। if a I mean it's the worst thing I can say, but somebody who's like a Don, I mean I don't want to name it on a social forum, the guy who's run off to Pakistan, do you think his IQ level is low? He would have the highest IQ level because he runs a business empire out of the shadows. It's just he chose to take it the wrong way or in the wrong direction, right?
Right.
So point क्या होता है कि वो अगर ये point नहीं होता, there is a spiritual aspect, there is the part of astrology. We can choose not to we can choose to ignore it, or we can choose to say, okay, I wanna understand it, but I'm not going to do that. Life is not linear. It's just so non-linear, and people tend to, out of their convenience, tend to make it very linear, even in the choices they make for their kids. I mean, it's just best to be left as a journey to be explored and not milestones to be achieved. यार ये अपना इसने घोड़ा चलाना सीख लिया या इसने बैडमिंटन कर लिया, एंड ऑफ द डे क्या हुआ? कुछ भी नहीं। मतलब आई हैव सीन अबाउट 150 किड्स इन गुड़गांव टुडे, जब सबने घोड़े चलाने सीख लिए हैं और टेनिस भी खेल लिया, तो मुझे तो कहीं नहीं दिख रहा कोई ओलंपिक्स के लिए जा रहा है। हाउ डज इट, how end of the day,
That's something
how
which is
does it?
only a social status that yes, we know everything.
Absolutely. So it's a,
yeah.
in my opinion, I'll use a very strong, it's just a pretentious way of living. If you really enjoy doing it, do it. I mean, you just putting so much on the kid. I am more than happy that a 12-year-old kid or a 13-year-old kid is sleeping 9-10 hours a day. He gets up, has some water, he goes out to play, does his study. Why do you want to burden him with chores? No, he's not supposed to. He's not supposed to do chores. He's supposed to live. He's supposed to be a kid. The best thing you can do is, for example, my son gets up, doesn't say good morning to me. Sometimes I don't say good morning to my dad. Does that make me a less of a son or him a less of a son to me? No. End of the day, I love my father and he loves his father absolutely to the core. But if we start making these barometers that, उसने 5 दिन से मुझे good morning नहीं बोला, प्यार नहीं है. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's your own insecurity playing into your head.
That's
but yes,
again, I'm
certain...
sorry. Here also, it's like, it's a conditioning. कि अरे तुम्हें बड़ों की respect, ideally तो सभी की respect करना चाहिए. It should be respectful for everyone. बड़ों की respect is what?
Absolutely.
Again, it's a conditioning.
I was in the US just 2 months back, and I mean, he's going to be 23. And I was leaving, and he came to leave me at the airport, and he hugged me and he gave me a kiss. And he said, Dad, I love you. I looked at him and I'm like, wow, a 22-year-old giving his father a kiss and saying, I love you. I said, you're done. Even if you didn't tell me good morning last 10 years, this one thing is good enough for me. I mean, I know he loves me. He doesn't have to give me a rose on a Valentine's Day or every Tuesday to justify that he loves me. I know he loves me. That's it. You got to be self-assured about your own relationships.
Correct.
So I guess I've taken a lot of your time, and I think there are other
No,
people who would
not
like
at
to
all. It's really nice. I would really like to thank you for sharing all your
Pleasure.
real experience. Actually, I can connect all the real experiences. As you said that you have 2 kids. I am the only child. So my completely, upbringing is different, and I'm in the nuclear family. So there are many times, in fact, since childhood, there was some lack of what we can say training to decision making. I have faced a lot of times. So this might be, I mean, my upbringing is different. As you said, there are many aspects, spiritual aspects,
Yeah.
astrological aspects are also there. However, then I realized that decision making, that is something which is my understanding, should be from very early stage. It should not be at the last stage. Even a lady who really finds a nice man, not by face, but by mind, is the first thing is he should be very good in decision making. As a lady, I can say that.
No,
So that's all.
see, I hear you and I agree with you. Absolutely. There's no second thoughts about it. Like my daughter is just on the cusp. She's going to be 18 in a couple of months, and she's going abroad again
Okay.
for undergrad. And I told her one thing. I said,
Okay.
"Bete, your coming years are about your own growth, right? During the time which is supposed to be for your growth, should you digress into peers and relationships where you feel you start finding it's like uh, आपके जूते का साइज 6 है बट आपको जूता बड़ा पसंद है और जबरदस्ती 5 नंबर के जूते में अपने पाँव को डाल रहे हो, राइट? आई सेड दैट्स अ रॉन्ग डिसीजन. Wait for the 6 number shoe to come and don't ever tell yourself that this shoe is so beautiful, पता नहीं आगे आएगा कि नहीं. नहीं, जिंदगी में हर वक्त आपको नए मोड़ पे कोई नई चीज और उससे बेटर चीज मिलेगी. ऐसा कभी नहीं होता कि जो चीज आज आपको मिल रही है उससे बेहतर नहीं आने वाली. समय की बात होती है, पेशेंस की गेम है. लाइफ इज अबाउट persistence and patience. Don't force things. Don't force your this thing. And if you get into any situation, 10 parameters, 9 are good and the 10th is not good, walk away. Those 10 parameters should not be societal parameters. Those should be your parameters, whether you judge a friend, judge your, somebody you're getting into a relationship or a job or anything. If they don't meet the 10 parameters in your head, walk away. Do not hesitate to walk away and don't say, okay, I'll compromise. Because that one thing that you compromise on is going to eventually, because it's going to be the 10 things that count to success. 9 things do not take you to success. The one
Correct.
part that you compromise is where it dilutes the other 9 parts. I said, it's okay. And the first thing that you need to tell your kids is being comfortable. If you can sit in a room for 6 hours alone without needing peers and friends, you've arrived in life. You really do not need people around you. It's not that you shouldn't have people around you, but you should not be dependent on them. I've told both of them, and they've understood that. It's okay. You're your best friend. When you're sitting alone is the only time you get to learn about yourself, because you introspect, you talk to yourself, you get it. The person who gets comfortable being alone, उसको ना कोई depression नहीं हो सकता. ना?
Correct.
The moment you're around people, and you just want more people, you're living in a bubble, you're in insecurity. So there is that paradox about human beings being a social animal, but I'm also saying, no, you're not a social animal, right? You got your space, you go into a social uh, zone, and you need to get out of it, cut it
Come
out,
back.
come back,
Right.
switch off like this, right? So uh, I think beyond a certain age, the learning that you need to pass on to your kids is going to be very different, right? And uh, uh, yeah, but there is the flip side. Always remember, when you make a kid, especially in Indian context, if you start making kids extremely open to the idea of making decision making at a young age, do remember, once they start making decisions, they will never hear their parents out because they've learned how to make the decisions. They will not like any interference coming in. And that eventually can also become the bane of all friction within the family. So there's a flip side. And why I say that is, uh, I was 11 when my mother passed away. I was brought over by a single parent. My sis was about 9 years younger than me. And I started taking decisions at the age of 12, and some hard decisions in life. Now, when I got into my 20s, there is nobody I was going to allow to make my decisions. To the day, my decisions are mine, but I own them up. Nobody can come into my sphere and say, oh, you know what, Harmeet, I'll tell you, you should do this. It's not happening, because it's not learned. I was thrown into a situation by life where I started taking decisions by the age of 12. Now, what happens is, when you do that, then you tell that person at the age of 28 in a company, hey, you come in the morning and I'll tell you what to do. Oh, he's not going to listen. He's not going to listen. So what happened with me is, because I became a person who took very hard decisions at a very young age. So when I got into my first job and second job, I had issues. I had issues because I took my decisions. I didn't go to my boss. I just took decisions. And trust me, the decisions were right. But then the boss was extremely insecure कि ये तो मेरे पास आज आता ही नहीं है. मैं बॉस हूं, मुझसे पूछो. सुबह आओ, दोपहर को आओ, शाम को आओ, मेरे चरण वंदना करो, मुझसे पूछो. ये तो पूछने को तैयार नहीं है, तो मेरी शक्ल ही देखने को तैयार नहीं है. वो कहता है आपने काम दे दिया, मैंने काम करके दे दिया, कहानी खत्म. पूछना क्या है, राइट? तो बॉस को फ्रिक्शन. बॉस कहता है यार ये तो अगर ऐसे चलता रहा तो 6 महीने बाद तो ये तो मेरे सिर के ऊपर बैठा होगा, मेरी नौकरी खा जाएगा. इनसिक्योरिटी आ गई. तो जब इनसिक्योरिटी आई तो मुझे बुरा लगा. मैंने यार काम ही नहीं करना है, मैं नई नौकरी ढूंढता हूँ. फिर नई नौकरी क्या, वहां पर एक और है इनसिक्योरिटी. बट उसका ये था कि मैंने नौकरी शुरू करी 24 पे, बिल्कुल जूनियर लेवल पे, 32 साल के ऊपर में सीईओ बन गया, बिकॉज डिसीजन मेरे थे. तो बिकॉज आई हैड दैट ड्राइव टू टेक द बुल बाय द हॉर्न. So when it came to business, so by the time I was 32, I was running business worth about 2.5, 3,000 crores. I started off at like $13,000 a month. But the success came because I just knew how to take this. I didn't shy away from taking decisions. But there's a flip side. The flip side is pretty much is what's going to be my way or the highway. But over the next 10 years, from 30, when I started going to 40 to 50, I realized that decision is going to be still mine, but I have to give the people in my room the right to put their word across. Because I started realizing I'm great at decision making. The others aren't, but it's not necessarily that I'm more competent than him. So I have to give a competent guy the right to air his view, but the decision is going to be mine. So it was my own evolution where I realized, okay, this is it, but I will still be who I am, but I have to allow a certain amount of talent to come into. I have to hear people out. Otherwise, I'll go into my bubble, which is going to be my downfall. But that's also the part of the journey where you're on, you become more enlightened. But you see the
that
flip
becomes
side.
so self-centered.
Yeah.
You become so
see the flip side.
self-centered and yeah.
So what you're saying is so right, but you have to also understand the individual then starts getting shaped up when you put too much of decision making at an early age. And should that person take a liking to it, trust me, he will never listen to anyone in his family, his wife, his kids. वो फिर वो उस authoritarian level पे चला जाएगा.
Correct.
So there has to be a balance. So that's
balance is everywhere.
It needs to be a balance. So while I heard you and I was hearing you out, so that's the reason I said when I told my kids that till the age of 14 it was my way or the highway, there was no democracy at home. I didn't allow them. You concentrate on being a kid. I'll make the decisions. You don't need to be bothered about decision making. You're not
actually
cutting out
from
checks.
Your conversation, what I have observed that as you have taken responsibilities at the early stage, therefore your observation and vision has become very clear because you have done everything practically, nothing on books. कि अच्छा ऐसा करना है, ऐसा नहीं करना है. So you have jumped on the ground, battleground, and you have actually won many rewards, I would say that. So that's why you're more confident because everything you have experienced.
Money awards and rewards, ma'am, with a lot of battle scars.
Agreed. Yeah.
So anyway, that was a nice conversation. Premji's got to come in, and so has Anuragji or somebody else. Thank you so much for giving me the time.
Thank you so much. Yes, Premji, Anurag, Rajvin, your inputs, please, and if you want to share something.
A great presentation. It's just that I experienced some of this when I was young. So I managed to come out of that. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I actually um I actually come from a s- simple spiritual and modest background. So yeah, although I've achieved so much, uh yeah, credit goes to my parents and caregiver, and of course my family and friends. Um, I did I did experience some emotional regulation when I was young, even till not so much till not not so much. I did experience emotional regulation when I was young, and even now a little bit thankful for laughter, thankful for being able to. Me and my caregiver just came up with one ebook, so my and someone's writing a book about me, and it's coming out on Sunday. So
Okay.
I've got my eulogy waiting for
All
me,
right.
and that eulogy is going to be published as a physical book too, and it's like, yeah. So I've learned that um you can see parents through whenever you can't talk to them physically, you can see them through meditation, you can see them through hypnotherapy. And I must say that hypnotherapy improved my relationship with my dad and mom a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, this is something interesting actually. Thank you so much. You have so much of gratitude actually. I can sense that gratitude
When
basically.
you don't want to react, sometimes when you feel angry, that you cried out, yes, but when you go for hypnosis, and when you're um during that 3 weeks 21 days period, when you experiences changes, you tend to feel the aha moments, which normal moments don't give you, but hypnotherapy and meditation does give you that. Sometimes
All right.
when you talk to a parent, they might have different point of view. Mom has different point of view from dad, and it varies every day. So best thing is laughter is the best medicine. And that's what I've taught my parents to do.
Good
And they
that
say,
you. Hmm, hmm, hmm.
and and they say, I believe that Mapio sub up hai. So uh and in Punjabi, Mapio is the father mother is Vaheguru first, and then followed by our parents or teachers or whoever it is, to, with you see, we have for me, I have like good sanskar from my parents, like um I'm not late night movie goer, which I can do, but I don't prefer to do it. I'm I'm more spiritual person, and I'm more like extrovert, yes. When I do good, yeah, do good, yes. For my work in uh National Cancer Society of Malaysia. I'm a very outgoing person there. But I don't prefer to watch TV. TV has a lot of negative news in the sense that once in a while I do enjoy uh family time with my parents. Every day I see them for dinner. I see them for breakfast, lunch, and I love myself. I love myself and I love them and I love my caregiver and I love people around me. No matter how some people are like my parents and caregiver used to say, he's still saying that no five fingers are the same. You have to accept it. So I think parenting, although I'm not a parent but by myself, but parenting is kind of um about like accepting he or herself for whoever he or she is and never give up. The best, the
Absolutely.
best. So in anything in life, we have to like not procrastinate. And if we have to go against our parents, we have to reason out with them. So yeah, I think in sorry, I'm a bit long, but in Sikhism culture, it's like
Mhm.
respect parents first and make sure they're okay being the youngest child, like
I think
feeling like ah
that is fine. I mean, that is required. I mean, as you said that to respect. Yes, yes, it is. I mean,
most
it is me.
people
Hmm.
most people think it's like the baby of the family and stuff, but society can think whatever they want. But um I would say that parents are my best friend. And I used to think that parenting is authoritarian, which is they're not. So so yeah.
We can see that they are really good friends of yours, and we can see from your achievements, from your participation, even in the sessions, we can see your personality. It reflects actually the work which has been done on you. It reflects from your personality.
Oh yeah. Not
Yeah.
they push me. I'm the like I myself like to wear many hats. So sometimes they will say, I said I will do whatever I can, even beauty pageant, even writing ebooks, even teaching people how to laugh. I mean, how many normal people how many normal people can teach uh people how to laugh? Like, so in the sense that they've brought me sense of humor so that I can actually spread to the world and like being joyful and yeah. So like they say, like in Hindi, they say Mata Pita Guru Devam. So I would say Mata Pita Dosti. not Mata Pita Guru. Some of them took as parents. Like I used to feel it first 9 years of my life, first when I was growing up. Especially after my sister got married, I'm closer to my mom and dad, and yeah, it's like it's like very, very joyful.
Thank you so much.
And yes,
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, Anurag, you want to say something? Thank you, Rajal. He was actually raising his hands. Anurag, you want to say something? You have already typed. However, if you want to unmute, I think he, no worries, no issues. Yes, Shavana ji.
No, thank you. It was going wonderful. I was just reminding of the
Right.
time.
Yeah.
We are almost close to 9:15.
Yeah.
So,
There are so many things to share and to say. However, maybe in the next session.
yes,
Yeah, Anurag,
definitely.
you were saying something.
Can I say something? I was unable to unmute. Can I say something if we have a time?
Yeah, sure.
I will not take more time because it's a very wonderful session from everyone. So I would like to thank to everyone and specifically to Maniisha who presented this very important topic, and Mr. Chawla also. He shared a very lot of good things about parenting because he shared his own experiences about the kids. But on an overall, I would like to say one thing. Uh, Parenting is a very global subject. It's depend on at which country you are living, at which circumstances you are living, and the parents, their own upbringing also very important to upbringing their upcoming child or their children, because their upbringing also very important, right? So my only input in this particular session is that we should make our very strong base for our childs, and rest of the things will depend on them how they make their building on that. जैसे हम एक घर बनाते हैं तो एक बहुत अच्छा स्ट्रॉन्ग बेस बनाने की कोशिश करते हैं, एक बहुत अच्छा नक्शा बनाते हैं सो दैट कि हम अपनी चीजों को अपने हिसाब से करें, तो उनके लिए एक अच्छा बेस बनाएं, बट रेस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स उन पे छोड़ देनी चाहिए, बिकॉज कहीं ना कहीं उनके अंदर एक, जैसे मनीषा ने बताया कि डिसीजन मेकिंग वाला जो पॉइंट उसने बोला दैट वाज वेरी गुड, फिर वो अपने हिसाब से उन चीजों को क्रिएट कर पाते हैं, और वो कहीं ना कहीं आने वाले टाइम पे उनके लाइफ में इंपॉर्टेंट डिसीजन लेना या उनको छोड़ना या जो भी डिसीजन होते हैं उन पे कहीं ना कहीं वो एक अपना एक उनके कॉन्फिडेंस डेवलप होता है। तो मैंने अ, हम इंडियन से आए हैं तो हम एक ऑलमोस्ट कॉमन पेरेंटिंग पे हम पले बड़े हैं, और कहीं ना कहीं वो आदतें हम आने वाले बच्चों पे भी डालने की कोशिश करते हैं। बहुत अच्छी बात है वो, क्योंकि हमने बहुत अच्छी चीजें सीखी हैं अपने पेरेंट्स से, तो हमें लगता है कि कुछ चीजें हमारे आने वाली पीढ़ी में भी जाएं, दैट्स वेरी गुड। बट इन सम अदर कल्चर्स ऑल्सो पेरेंटिंग आर टोटली डिफरेंट। वो बचपन से ही अपने बच्चों को ऐसे डील करते हैं कि जस्ट दे आर जस्ट इनटू देयर ओन, दे कैन बी वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट देयर करियर, देयर लाइफ पार्टनर। एज इंडियन पेरेंट्स हम कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा डिसीजन मेकर अपने ऊपर भी लेते हैं, तो एक आई जस्ट वांट टू बी देयर कि बेस आप अपने हिसाब से बनाएं और रेस्ट ऑफ द बिल्डिंग उनकी लाइफ की उनको बनाने दें, तो एक बहुत अच्छा सा बैलेंस बन जाता है आप में और आपके बच्चों में एक रिलेशनशिप मेंटेन करने के लिए। बट आई वुड लाइक टू थैंक यू एवरीवन हु पार्टिसिपेटेड हियर, एंड थैंक यू सो मच फॉर एवरीवन। थैंक यू।
Thank you for your inputs. Of course, when this is something known as transactional analysis. Transaction analysis का मतलब है कि पेरेंट्स की जैसे अपब्रिंगिंग होगी, फिर आगे वो जैसे अपब्रिंगिंग करेंगे, फिर वो आगे कैसे करेंगे। ऑफ कोर्स जनरेशन टू जनरेशन भी बहुत सारी चीजें चेंज होती हैं। अब सपोज आपकी और मेरी मतलब ऑफ कोर्स मैं तो यही कहूंगा आई एम इनटू 80s, तब एआई कौन सा था। नाउ एआई इज कमिंग एंड लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स आर चेंजिंग। मैं छोटा सा एग्जांपल दूंगी, कितने सारे लोग तो बाहर खेलते हुए मिलते थे, अब तो बहुत कम हो गया है। People are not even playing outside. Playing, matlab, not people, I would say children. पहले तो इतना ज्यादा आउटडोर एक्टिविटीज होती थी, अब बहुत सारी हमारी वीडियो गेम वाली एक्टिविटीज होती हैं. सो बहुत सारी चीजें चेंज होती हैं. टाइम टू टाइम चीजें चेंज भी हो रही हैं, चेंज भी होती चली जा रही है. दैट्स ऑल.
राइट राइट. एक्चुअली ये भी है ना, अभी आप पेरेंट्स कौन सी एज में बन रहे हो. जो अभी जो जैसे जो हमारे पेरेंट्स हैं, दे यूज्ड टू से कि हम पेरेंट्स हैं तो
Correct.
पेरेंट्स ही रहेंगे, फ्री तक रहेंगे पेरेंट्स. अब आप जो 30s में पेरेंट्स बन रहे हैं, वो कहते हैं वी आर सो कूल एंड बी कूल विद अस. जो अभी बहुत ही यंग पेरेंट्स हैं, 25 जिनकी शादियां जल्दी होगी, उनका पेरेंटिंग का तरीका ही बिल्कुल अलग है. और जैसे हरमीत जी ने बोला कि भाई जस्ट ट्रीट मी बिकॉज आई एम योर फादर, सो ट्रीट मी लाइक योर फादर. तो वो एक एक अलग एरा है, वो एक अलग अप्रोच है, अब वो भी बहुत अच्छी है. तो पेरेंटिंग मुझे लगता है हर डेकेड में चेंज हो रही है, रिक्वायरमेंट्स बदल रही हैं, और लोगों की अपनी अप्रोचेस भी चेंज हो रही हैं. तो कहीं ना कहीं वो एज पर द, वो अगेन बात वहीं आके घूम के आती है कि आपकी अब खुद की अपब्रिंगिंग कैसी है, और आपके सर्कमस्टांसेस में रह रहे हैं, और आप क्या एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं. क्योंकि एक्सपेक्टेशंस लेवल बहुत हाई हो जाते हैं पेरेंट्स के बच्चों के साथ, और इवन आजकल के बच्चों की भी एक्सपेक्टेशंस बहुत हाई है अपने पेरेंट्स से, कि दे शुड डू फॉर अस, दे शुड डू फॉर अस. शायद जब मैं छोटा था तब शायद मेरी इतनी एक्सपेक्टेशंस नहीं थी. हमें जितनी चीजें मिल जाती थी हम उसमें से अपनी चीजें मैनेज कर लेते थे. आई डिडंट आस्क सो मेनी थिंग्स फॉर माय पेरेंट्स कि मुझे ये भी चाहिए, मुझे वो भी चाहिए. सो स्टिल वी मैनेज लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स बिकॉज शायद हमारी अपब्रिंगिंग वैसी हुई. बट आजकल के किड्स, दे आर वेरी डिमांडिंग. उनको दे वांट कि उनकी रिक्वायरमेंट्स भी पूरी हो, उनकी सुनी भी जाए, और फिर उनके साथ एक रिलेशनशिप भी बनाया जाए फ्रॉम द अर्ली चाइल्डहुड एज. तो
But I would
अलग अलग
say,
स्टेजेस में अलग अलग.
I would add one thing here,
या
Anurag,
प्लीज
जो
कैरी ऑन.
मैं देख पा रही हूँ आजकल 21 और मे बी 20 की तक तो लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर वर्किंग नाउ. तो वो डिमांड्स भी अब हो सकता है कम हो जाए, बिकॉज बहुत सारी चीजें फॉरेन कल्चर की अब इंडिया में भी आ चुकी हैं, खासकर बैंगलोर, दिल्ली, मुंबई. बहुत लोग 16
राइट
साल
राइट
से 20 साल से
राइट
भी वर्किंग करना शुरू कर देते हैं.
राइट
इफ दे हैव बिग ड्रीम्स दे डू दैट. देन दे थिंक दैट
राइट
ओके. इवन मैंने अभी, वो कौन है, एक
राइट.
पॉडकास्टर है, हिज नेम इज रणवीर व्हाट अलाहाबादी, सॉरी. He said that from the age of 16 I'm not staying with my parents. Since there, I mean, मैं 16 साल में ही अलग हो गया था. फिर उसने अपना स्टूडियो बनाया और नाउ पॉडकास्टिंग करता है. तो ऐसे भी लोग हैं, ऐसे भी बच्चे हैं जो फिर कोई डिमांड नहीं करते. उनको लगता है नहीं, हमें खुद ही डिजाइन करना है सब कुछ. हाँ, ऑफ कोर्स डिसीजन मेकिंग के लिए, या फिर
राइट
फैमिली
राइट
गैदरिंग के लिए, या एक रिलेशनशिप के लिए, टच के लिए, ऑफ कोर्स फैमिली इज द फर्स्ट वन, आई वुड से.
राइट. वो बैकग्राउंड, पेरेंट्स की खुद के बैकग्राउंड का बहुत ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट है. अभी एक कोई मैंने नाम नहीं पता, एक
ऑफ
पेरेंट्स है,
कोर्स.
वो सिंगापुर में जॉब करते थे. तो दे हैव डिसाइडेड कि चलो अभी हम अपने बच्चों को रेज अप सिंगापुर में नहीं करेंगे, हम इंडिया में करेंगे. सो वो अपने बच्चों को इंडिया वापस लेके आए, और उन्होंने उनको बिल्कुल रॉ लेवल पे ट्रेनिंग देना शुरू कर दिया. तो एक वो उनका अपना ही अलग माइंडसेट था. अब उस लेवल पे बच्चे और डिसीजन नहीं ले रहे, उनके पेरेंट्स ले रहे हैं. तो उनके बच्चों को उनको लगा, नहीं यार, सिंगापुर इज नॉट बेस्ट फॉर आवर किड्स, हमें वापस आना चाहिए. और कुछ पेरेंट्स ऐसे होते हैं, वो कहते हैं नहीं, हमें बच्चों को सिंगापुर लेके जाना चाहिए. सो इट्स अगेन डिपेंड ऑन देयर ओन चॉइसेस. एक सर्टेन एज पे ना पेरेंट्स की खुद की चॉइसेस भी चलती हैं अपने बच्चों पे, फिर बच्चों की चॉइसेस काम करना शुरू करती हैं. तो ये बहुत बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स सा मेथड है. बट इसलिए मैंने शुरुआत में बात की कि आप उनका बेस स्ट्रांग बना दें, जैसे कि हम एक मकान का बनाते हैं, रेस्ट ऑफ द बिल्डिंग उनको बनाने दें, तो कहीं ना कहीं कुछ तो अच्छा होगा. अगेन जैसे हमीद जी ने बोला कि भाई अगेन वो कहीं ना कहीं एस्ट्रोलॉजी, नियति, ये बड़ा काम करती है. तो जो उसको बनना होगा वो बन जाएगा, और आप उसके बैकअप में तो है ही एज ए पेरेंट.
Yes, Harmeet ji, you want to add something? Yes,
यस
please,
सर,
please go ahead.
जी, यस यस.
just a 10-second this thing. Uh,
ये
Again, what I'm trying to say is we're trying to make our kids too Indian, too American, too Chinese. You need to start concentrating on
Right.
making them the right human being, all right?
Human beings,
For
absolutely.
me, uh, I took a decision that my kids need to be out, not because they're less Indian or they're more American or they're more Singaporean. No, they have a certain set of values that have gone to them. Values are about human values, not about my family values, right? आई एम नॉट हेयर कि तुमने पूजा ऐसे करनी, तुमने ऐसे करना, ये मेरी फैमिली के ट्रेडिशन है, नहीं। ऑन द कॉन्ट्री, मेरे ग्रैंडफादर का जो तरीका फादर को लाने का था, फादर का, we are also evolving as human beings. Just because we become parents doesn't mean our evolution stopped. So for me, I was actually going to bring up my kids exactly not the way I was brought up. I was going to actually bring them up the way I feel it was right as their nature, not as what I feel is right.
Right.
So I evolved in terms of
Right.
behaving with them. क्योंकि पहले मैं भी भाई देखो, पहली बार जब बाप बना तो मेरे को तो ऐसे तो कोई गुरु मंत्र था नहीं ना कि बाप क्या होता है. But when you started interacting with your kids, you started seeing them interacting and understanding what the child is as a human being, not as a child. I started interacting. मैं उनको ये समझने की भी कोशिश कर रहा था कि I was not looking at them as a father. I was also looking at them as an individual. You have to understand, just because the
Right.
child is born of you doesn't mean that you own them.
Right.
वो सिर्फ आपसे पैदा हुए हैं, उसके बाद उनकी अपनी
Agreed.
नीति है जिंदगी में. तो even though the relationship legally is a father and a son or a mother and a son, they don't owe you anything.
Right.
Why should you have expectation out of your parents, kids? आपकी अपनी जिंदगी है, आपने
Correct.
अपना मरना है, आपने अपनी अपनी माउंट एवरेस्ट ढूंढनी है. आप अपने बच्चे, हाँ, वो कहाँ जाएंगे, क्या जाएंगे. सो आई एम ऑल्सो वेरी क्लियर विद माई किड्स. तुमने खड्डे में जाना है, वो तुम्हारे डिसीजन है, तो मैं तुम्हारे को खड्डे से निकालूंगा नहीं. मगर अगर खड्डे में तुम गिर गए तो मेरा हाथ है. तुम्हें खड्डे में कोई और फेंकेगा तो मैं आगे खड़ा हूँ.
Hmm.
खुद सोचो कि मैं खड्डे में जाके बैठ जाऊंगा तो मैं बोलूंगा
Right.
मैं बैठे रहो, मैं कभी नहीं आऊंगा. मैं क्यों अपना मैं अपने हाथ
Correct.
गंदे नहीं करने वाला नाले के अंदर डाल के अपने बच्चे को निकालने के लिए. बट अगर तुम गिर गए,
Correct.
किसी ने
Correct.
तुम्हें गिराया, तो तुम्हारा बाप खड़ा हुआ है. बट अगर तुम अपनी ही
Correct.
सहमति से जाके बैठोगे तो मैं कहीं नहीं आऊंगा, क्योंकि मेरी भी जिंदगी है. मैं जितना
Right.
जितना
Correct.
तुम्हारे साथ खड़ा हूं, उतना मुझे अपनी जिंदगी भी जीनी है. मैं अपनी जिंदगी का
बिल्कुल.
दान या सैक्रिफाइस तुम्हारे लिए नहीं करूंगा. माई सैक्रिफाइस is if you are in the right direction and you become something. I don't want any accolades कि ये हो गया वो हो गया. My accolade is becoming the human being you are,
Right.
not the son I want to be. I do not expect my daughter to be a daughter. I want her to be the right human being. The moment you put them into the direction where
Absolutely.
you're saying the right person that they need to be, you also cease to have expectation, because you're not expecting anything out of them as a son or a daughter. Their achievement in their
Right.
life as a human being is achievement good enough for us. That our parenting was right.
Correct.
But
Correct.
if I start looking at parenting कि मेरा बेटा ऐसा होना चाहिए, then मैं उस चीज के अंदर ईगो ले आया,
Hmm.
क्योंकि मुझे फिर वो चीज देखना चाहता हूँ. मैं कुछ देखना ही नहीं चाहता.
Correct. Correct.
वो उसको अपनी जिंदगी में देखना है कि उसने क्या देखना है. मैं क्यों देखूं? मेरे पास अपनी जिंदगी देखने के लिए.
True.
मैं भी कौन सा बुढ़ा हो गया, 50 साल का हूँ, मेरे पास भी 20 हो सकता है, 10 साल, 15 साल, 30 साल है. मैंने भी बहुत जगहों जाना है, मैंने भी बहुत कुछ अचीव करना है. मैं उसको अचीव करूंगा कि मैं उसकी देखता रहूंगा.
Correct. बिल्कुल.
So
Because you are
तो
you are a good observer as a parent, so
Very
you did
clear.
all these
He
things to
is.
your kids, so
No
that is
doubt
wonderful.
about it.
सब प्रॉब्लम क्या है
He's
ना
a very
कि
good observer with the kids. So
क्योंकि
that's
लोग
why
क्या क्या
all
कर
these
रहे हैं,
things
लोग सिर्फ
in a very early
पैसा,
age.
कॉन्सर्ट, आईपीएल, ये वो, अमेरिका घूमना, रोम. अरे भैया, वो
Yeah.
चीजें इतनी इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. द ओनली थिंग एज अ पेरेंट, एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग यू विल लीव बैक is if you leave back the right human being after your death. That's only your son
Correct.
or daughter. So the legacy that you
But
leave
that
back
is a
is
very
the parenting or the person that you made, not the son and the daughter you made. The person you
right.
made is your legacy, because somebody will say,
Hmm.
"Oh, you're such a fine
Hmm.
person. You you know your being around matters to 10 more people, 100 more people, or 20,000 more people." The kid will say, "I am this way
Right.
because
Right.
probably my parents brought me and gave me the right set of values." Now that's the only legacy. आप उनको 50
Right. Right.
BMW छोड़ जाओ,
Right.
200 घर छोड़ जाओ, उसके बाद भी कोई गारंटी नहीं है कि वो आपके मुंह पे थूकेंगे नहीं. बट
बिल्कुल.
अगर वो सही ह्यूमन
बिल्कुल.
बीइंग बन गए ना, वो सही ह्यूमन बीइंग बन गए, तो आपके मरने के 100 साल के बाद भी आपके परपोते शायद आपको याद कर रहे हो. तो आपके अगर पोते और परपोते आपको
बिल्कुल.
याद
बिल्कुल.
कर रहे हैं और दुनिया याद नहीं कर रही, तो आप सही काम कर गए.
Right. वही ना हमेशा
दुनिया
जैसे
याद
हम
करे,
नॉर्मली जैसे
दुनिया याद
आप
करे
किसी
ना
से
करे, कोई इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, मगर आपकी अगर अगर आपकी कोई पीढ़ी है, वो बोल रही है हम पीढ़ी खड़ी इसलिए क्योंकि हमारे को एक सेट ऑफ वैल्यूज मिली थी टू बी द पर्सन ह्यूमन बीइंग वी शुड बी, देन आपकी जर्नी धरती पे संपूर्ण है।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, वो जैसे कहते हैं
वही
ना, हम
एक्चुअली
किसी
में
थर्ड पर्सन
पेरेंटिंग
से
की
मिलते हैं, किसी
डेफिनेशन पे,
स्ट्रेंज।
yeah, parenting की definition
सॉरी
पे,
सॉरी
that's why I have written, it's not about giving birth to a child, but shaping a soul. It's very easy कि हाँ ठीक है, mating हुई, बच्चे पैदा हो गए, but after that what? That's a soul's journey basically.
इवन अ वेरी क्रूड वे, बच्चे ने डिसाइड किया था कि आना है, ये तो आपने अपनी सेल्फिश नीड्स की, बायोलॉजिकल नीड्स के लिए बच्चा पैदा करा, फिर उसके बाद अब आप डिसाइड करोगे वो क्या जिंदगी जिएगा, रही है क्या बात हुई, छोड़ दो ना।
बिल्कुल।
जी,
ठीक है,
Wow, this is a very wonderful session, and
yeah.
that's good.
We'll bring more things into it
Thank
from
you.
the
Thank
next
you.
time. Let's see. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you for
Right, right.
participation.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, Shabana ji, आपके
Yeah,
हमने
thank
और
you,
30
Maniisha
minutes ले
ji.
लिए. Thank you.
It's fine. A good discussion is worth it. So thank you so much,
Right.
because I think a
I also got a lot of
more
input
people
on
will
goods.
learn from it. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone,
Thank you
and
so
see you
much.
again
Have a
tomorrow.
great
you know.